The Quarry. We've been waiting for this summer camp horror thriller from Supermassive Games since it was first announced. Supermassive's approach to accessibility has slowly but surely improved across its releases. But does the Quarry follow suit? Let's talk about it. What's up, Dynamites? It's Kennedy from Dynamic Reactions, and welcome to the level where we talk about accessibility in gaming and review some of our favorite games. Before I start the review, a special shout out to 2K and Supermassive for the Quarry code. The game has been out officially for the full weekend now. It came out on Friday of last week. And as always, I'm going to start with my general review first, and then we'll get into the menu review with the accessibility settings. So, let's get into it. The Quarry is exactly what you'd expect from Supermassive Games. It's a choice-based horror thriller, and I've always felt like Supermassive does a beautiful job when it comes to rich supernatural lore. They definitely know how to put you on the edge of your seat and make you stay there. But with the exception of Until Dawn, I feel as though they have a pattern of filling the world with rich lore and great development, and then not giving us characters that go through and have that same great development and finesse with their writing. Sometimes I wonder if they give some of their main characters, who we are supposed to protect, unbearable personalities throughout the entire game with no development, just so we can kill off a few without feeling guilty. Of the star-studded characters in the Quarry, in my current playthrough, there are only 3 that I feel I have to protect. I want the stakes to match the details of the world. I want to care at least a little bit about all of the characters. Now, I'm not saying that the Quarry isn't fun, it is. However, there are some aspects in the writing where you can tell there was no POC representation and no LGBTQ representation at the writer's table. And I want to challenge Supermassive to do better, because the vibe of the Quarry tells me that they know what rich storytelling is. It's the 80s vibe, from the menus to the settings in the story to the history. It's all just great. They just need to bring the characters to that same standard. If you're looking for a fun, light summer camp thriller, The Quarry is definitely for you. Don't expect any gripping character emotional development though. The accessibility, however, is a different story. The accessibility of The Quarry is definitely a huge improvement over the previous Supermassive titles, and you can definitely see their growth in this area. So let's get into the menu. First up, you have your display settings, which are UI brightness, display brightness, and HDR brightness. These are the only 3 sliders that you have. In your audio settings, you have your typical music, special effects, and dialogue volume sliders, as well as a streamer mode. And I just have to say, as a creator, the fact that we haven't followed the suit of some other people and actually included decent music in our streamer modes, thank you, Supermassive 2K. I appreciate that. In your subtitle settings, now this is where you get to the meat. This is where the real accessibility menu starts. You have subtitle size, small, medium, and large. You have background, yellow, black, or none. You have line start, which basically asks you, do you want to start with a hyphen or do you want to start with a character name so you know which character is talking or off? And one of my favorite features, the open dyslexic font. We need this font in more games. For those of you who do not know, the open dyslexic font is the font that is specifically made for people with dyslexia to be able to read easier, to type easier, to just get through reading things easier. If you are a creator and you're streaming this game, I highly recommend for your audience, for newcomers and people who might be in your audience who you don't know are dealing with dyslexia, to turn this on. Make your gaming experience inclusive. But we definitely need this font in more games. I will advocate for that till I turn blue. Please add the dyslexia font in your games, guys. You also have color, default, and character, which changes the subtitle colors for each character. You don't really have control over what colors. In your controller settings, you have controller vibration on or off. Sadly, there is no remapping, but there are preset settings for the dominant hand. So there's a right hand setting and a left hand setting, but that's all that we have for controller. For camera, you can invert your X and Y axis and change your camera sensitivity. And finally, in the accessibility menu, you have a simple QTE option with the default auto or any option. Any meaning that you could press any button on the controller that you want to perform a QTE. You could even push a joystick forward and the QTE will complete. Auto meaning it will automatically be done for you. Default meaning what the default is. It'll give you the regular QTE. I love that they gave us an any option because it allows the player, if they don't want to go automatically, an automatic girl myself, but if they don't want to go automatically and they want to push a joystick or push whatever button they want to feel involved, they can do that. I love that they've given us that freedom. You also have QTE speed, which is default, medium, long, or max, which the max timers are super long and very nice. You have interrupt speed, which is default, medium, long, max, or auto. I recommend just having this on max if you're having time delay issues, because if we do auto, these are kind of optional actions in the game that the game presents you with that you don't necessarily have to do. But if you want to have freedom of choice in your gameplay, I suggest putting it on max and not auto. It's not like a QTE situation where it's absolutely relevant that you press this. They actually give you the choice of saying, hey, do you want to climb this tree or do you not want to climb this tree? This is your choice. You have button mash, hold, tap, and auto. Hold for holding your button, tap for tapping your button for button mash, and auto for auto completing it. The don't breathe sections of the game, which for those of you who are not familiar, the don't breathe sections are when in super massive games, if there's a really tense moment, say you're hiding from a monster, they ask you normally to hold the controller completely still. I had problems with this, and until dawn, it made half of my people die towards the end, and I was very upset because I was like spastically moving a few inches, and it messed up my entire ending. They finally have an auto for that. There's a default and an auto section. If you have trouble with spasticity, trouble with staying still for short periods of time, like flinches, ticks, I highly recommend that you have it on the auto setting. Aim assist is also here. But aim assist, unfortunately, um, does not do what it claims to do. So in the description, it says that it locks onto the target. So it's kind of an aim assist slash target lock option. You have on, off, auto, where it auto completes the action for you. If you just turn it on, unfortunately for me, it did not lock onto my target. I still had to move it around, so the aim assist is not assisting. I don't know if that's a bug or what that is, but I would suggest, Supermassive, if we're seeing this, that if it is truly a target lock situation, that we fix it. And if it isn't, I would highly suggest for those of us with motor issues that you add in target lock. We like to shoot. Listen, I like to shoot things. Give me the opportunity to shoot. For those of us who want auto on, that's fine. But me, even with my motor challenge self, I love to shoot things. Look at the games I play. Look at Deathloop. We also have colorblind settings, all three, for those of us who suffer with color blindness. And I have to add this as an honorable mention because it's an accessibility setting, I believe, like really and truly. The tutorials are not text-based, okay? And I know that they probably did this for style. They are not text-based. They are literally little VHS tapes, like little animated cartoons with a narrator and sound effects and subtitles. Now me, I'm a very visual learner, so I love that. I absolutely cherish it. But like for those of us who have a hard time visually seeing tutorial instructions and things like that, having the big subtitles and having the narrator explain while also having the visuals of the animation removes the need for small text in tutorials. Well, not the need, more the problem of small text in tutorials significantly, and it's a brilliant way to do it, and I wish people would do it more. It's so cute, it's adorable, and I love it. It's an honorable mention and an accessibility setting in my book, so that's why it's here on this list. All right, for improvements, I would say I'm adding this improvement section for dev purposes, for educational purposes. I would say fixing the Nato aim. I'm calling it the Nato aim because right now it is an auto aim. I still have to move my controller to target lock, and if I have to move my controller to target lock without the camera actually following the target, then it's not toe aim, it's not auto aim, right? My second critique is that even on max brightness, like everything that you see filmed today in this video is in max brightness, it's still a little too dark. Bring it up a few inches, guys, please. I know that we want horror, but I also want to be able to see everything around me, please. Also, there is a system in the game. If you're familiar with Supermassive games, while you're making your choices, there's a person that's sort of guiding you along the way. And for us in the Quarry, it is the beautiful tarot card lady. And in order for us to get clues or hints from her, which are optional, by the way, you have to find her tarot cards in game. When I first opened the game to review it, and I went through the first couple of hours, apparently there were some tarot cards that I was supposed to be finding that I could not find. And some I found out later after starting a new game for stream, I couldn't find simply because I was walking by them too fast. And so when the camera panned over to them and was like, hey, look, here's a tarot card, I didn't really see it. I would like for us to have sound cues for the tarot cards, because it would make them easier to find. Maybe like a little crow noise or something like that, because the tarot lady has like a raven that she has. Maybe like a little raven noise to be like, hey, there's a tarot card, especially when you're out in the woods, over in this direction. Also, adding a timer for the tarot cards would be helpful, because there are points in scenes where there's tarot cards and it's like a quick snap, like, hey, here's a tarot card, grab it, and then it quickly snaps away. And sometimes you miss those moments because they just move so quickly. I would really like for the tarot card system to be improved, not only because it would be nice to have some hints during choices in case there's somebody that you want to protect, but because the tarot cards, they're pretty. I like collecting them in comparison to the other super massive games. So I would love for y'all to add some sound cues or something that would make collecting those just a tad bit easier, especially in dark areas like the woods. Overall, I feel like what the Quarry lacks in character quality, it gains a lot in accessibility and world lore. I just hope that Supermassive expands their horizons, their writing, brings POC, LGBTQ writers to the table, and they continue to improve their games. But if you're looking for a fun time and you are a disabled human who isn't completely blind, of course, unless you have a partner in couch co-op with you, I suggest that you pick the Quarry up. It's a good, fun summer time and a good way to keep you on the edge of your seats. Thank y'all so much for watching, and if you've played the Quarry, tell me who your favorite character is. No spoilers, please. We aren't done yet. I'm playing the Quarry on Twitch 4 days a week. Today, Monday at 4 p.m., Wednesday at 4 p.m., Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to check out that link down below if that's something that you're interested in watching my playthrough. Be sure to follow on all the socials. And don't forget, you deserve accessibility that's on the level. Peace out.